I'm going to just talk a little bit about manifesting, because there's people saying, oh, well, you know, I'm asking the universe for this and this is what's showing up, and I don't know what's going wrong, and like, and I'll give you a bit of an example. And I know where I was totally like off balance. Before I went to the UK and I manifested someone for here, and who contacted me was in some way a mirror of the energy I was putting out. So I was panicking but trying not to, like thinking I've got to do this, but it's going to be alright no matter what. I really need people that are going to care for the animals, and care for the land and respect the land. And I didn't think about caring for my stuff, right? I was thinking of the animals and thinking of the plants and stuff. I'd forgotten about me, and I'd forgotten about my car to a certain extent. I'd forgotten about the qualities of the people that I'd like to have here. So what I found, or what found me in the end, was a very, very busy people who are very busy doing lots and lots and lots of stuff, who aren't thinking straight, because that's exactly what I sent out. But I was in fight or flight and freeze and fawn, so I was in that survival mode. When you're in survival mode, your brain just doesn't come online properly. Your prefrontal cortex can't come online because you're in that threat response. Like, so it's really not the best place to manifest from, if you get me. Now, a lot of us are manifesting and trying to do what's right for us, for the highest good, but we're not sure what that is, and we're coming from a place of fear because we've got so much stuff going on in our lives. Like, I had things to contemplate. I had like an operation to contemplate. I had a dream to contemplate. I had my faith to sit with. I had things to question and explore and understand and try and work out. I had so much stuff going on in my head, as well as my animals, which are always my first priority, and the plants here, like, and people don't always realise that this is an extension of me. So I treat it as such. So I treat the animals as I treat myself. I treat the trees, the plants here, like I treat myself. And people don't always do that. They don't see it as, they see themselves as separate. And as I'm there in what headspace I was at that time, I was manifesting from that place, and that was the frequency that was being sent out strong and clear into the universe. Now, in that time, it's all right saying should have, would have, could have. No. Because it's not possible to do these things, and it's at times like that you really need someone else to be with you, to help you tune in, really. And sometimes you do feel alone and lost, and you can't tune into that higher version of self. I mean, this earth school that we're present in, it can be really heavy going sometimes. Like we say, oh, I really need some money, and then maybe five euros will turn up, or 10 euros, or I really need food, and someone just invites you to dinner or drops round and brings a picnic or something, and you're like, oh, awesome, thank you, universe. Well, what we're doing is we're sending out, it's pretty much a scattergun approach. So we're sending out little bits and pieces. The universe is listening. It's always working for our own good. Always. It's never working against you. Never. So when we're getting things back and we're like, what's going on here? It's that we weren't specific. We weren't able to bring ourselves back online fully to know what we truly want, to be able to ask for what we truly want and get what we truly want. So what happened as a result, the karma of my actions, I managed to get someone in a really short space of time. I got 2 people, but my car was damaged considerably. You know, it won't pass an MOT or IMT until it's been fixed, and I've not been able to find a bumper for it, the front bumper, and get the front done. I can't open the back end of my car. The gear knob came off yesterday. There's a crack in the light thing. I received a message. I just want to let you know that there's 2 guys laughing and kicking your car door shut in such a place a few weeks ago. I thought it was your car, but you weren't there. So yeah, it's these things, like we're manifesting for a good person to come, and maybe that person is, but maybe they've also got their own issues. Maybe, you know, we really need to look and feel into what we actually want, because when we put our energy out there saying we want this but we don't want that, we end up concentrating on more what we don't want. We've got this thing called a human negativity bias, and the human negativity bias keeps our brain focused on what we don't want because it's trying to keep us safe. That's all. It's just trying to keep us safe. Well, the issue is when our brain's trying to keep us safe and it's going, this is what you don't want, this is what you don't want. We kind of send that out somehow. The universe hears that because it's a more frequent frequency out, and then it sends us that instead. So I didn't want certain things, and I got it, and I wanted to get to the UK, and I got that, and I wanted to be able to sort things out, and that happened. But like, fuck me, it's taught me a huge lesson in when it comes to manifestation and understanding. Like, I know to be specific, and it's so easy when other people do things to see where they're not being specific. And when it's yourself, it really takes a whole lot more diving deeper before you can see exactly what it is. So, you know, forget this baby law of attraction. Forget The Secret, right? It's a tiny little smidgen, a tiny little gnat's bollock hair in the greater scheme of things to how we really do things when we grow up. Forget all the shit that you've been told, right? The most important thing that we can do is start to ground ourselves, to start to bring ourselves back online, to come out of survival mode, even if it's just for a really short period of time, and just be with our true self. And then from that place, from that centered place, that grounded place, that heartfelt place, we are able to consciously create the life that we truly do want. I mean, sure, I make mistakes. So does everyone. We're human beings. That's what we came here to do. We came to fuck up. We came to learn over and over and over and over again. And things get so much easier with time. They do, I promise you. You know, years ago, I really didn't have that mindset. I just threw myself a constant pity party. I had that victim consciousness. I threw out lack, limitation, victimhood consciousness, that I had this feeling that I was a victim. I was just dealt a bad hand, and this was just me and what I was destined for in this life. It's all fucking bollocks. All bollocks. And that's where I was. And now today I can sit here and I can say I am not a victim. These things that came into my life that changed me, they helped me see things. They become the fire in my belly that ignites, that fuels me to move forward and to improve myself, to become more aware of myself in my world, to help me become more aware of what's going on in my environment and make the changes that I need to make my world a better place. Like, I am the centre of my universe, and everyone else is the centre of theirs. And when you look at that, you've got all these people in the centre of the universe trying to radiate out what's best for them, getting caught up in that tangled web that we weave with all the other people in our environment. And there's a whole load of people in our environments that we energetically have transactions with, from the people in the supermarket and the post office, to the people that phone us up and try and sell us double glazing, to the people that we say good morning to as we walk down the street, as we walk the dog. Everything's connected. We've really got to tune back into ourselves, and we've got to learn to ground, and we've got to learn to listen to our authentic selves, because from that place of love, of kindness, of understanding, are we able to move forward, to evolve, to change, and start really living a life of ease, a life of abundance, because that life is what we're all of us deserve that kind of a life. All of us deserve that life, and it's there for us. We just got to get over that mindset where we're telling ourselves we lack, we have limitations, and that we're victims of our circumstances. It's time to break the chains. It's time for freedom.